Well, I've always liked the monster within idea. I like the zombies being us. It's like zombies are the blue-collar monsters.
We're completely surrounded!
We're completely fucked! Are you girls kidding me? I've been praying for this shit! Come on!
Boys, let's get to work.
For God's sakes, he missed me again!
Oh, Cod! Are you blind, man?
Like this.
Ow! Oh!
See?
Oh!
No, Jefe, I do it like this.
Daddy!
I do it like this.
Get back to hair and makeup. You don't look dead enough.
Come on, let's go.
That ain't in the script.
We're writing a new one. It's called Faggot Sack Massacre.
This is a real nightmare.
Let's slay some stiffs.
Call of Duty has to be the most misunderstood and iconic zombies map in Black Ops 1. It's the first map to have celebrity cast, the first map to have 2 new wonder weapons, the first map to have not just a co-op Easter egg, but an Easter egg you could do by yourself. A map so different that it changes how you play. A new perk that has 2 different features. And finally, a map with a boss that's always there to hunt you down. This map is widely discussed with very mixed opinions about whether or not this map is good or bad due to certain features that makes it difficult and very different compared to its predecessors. While I'm here to discuss on the behalf of Call of the Dead on why I believe that it's a misunderstood icon. There's some new things in here that I'm going to be discussing first, of course, but I'm going to skip everything to get straight into the new Easter egg song because it's such an icon to Cod Zombies. Not Ready to Die by Avenged Sevenfold is such a banger of an Easter egg song, and I don't think anyone can disagree with me when saying that. It fits the map so well, and this group would become iconic as they've made more songs for Call of Duty in the future. When making this video, I completely forgot about what the song was for this map until I did the steps to get it, and it shocked me that this map was the first to have Avenged Sevenfold. I was expecting Alina Siegeman to be on the mic, singing for us as always until Black Ops 2. So hearing the new group in my ears as I played was refreshing to me. Now let's get to the others, like the new ways to get around the map. Firstly, we got 2 ziplines on this map, and it's a lot of fun to make a getaway when you're surrounded by the undead. Just jump out to this bad boy, and you'll zip away and escape from your untimely demise. Oh yeah, the zombies could use it. It doesn't matter what the zombie does either, anyone could use it. Even the crawlers could somehow. Hop onto the line and zip away to try to get to you. It's pretty horrifying the first time you see it. You think that you made your grand escape, but then you turn around and you can hear the zipline being used and the zombies are still on your tail. Next up, we got the flinger. It'll only work in 2 ways. If you turn on the power and if the other side of the map where the lighthouse is located is open. If either isn't met, then it won't work. But when it does, it's a blast to use. Just stand on top of it, wait a couple seconds, and then you'll get launched across the map to the lighthouse. It's a pretty useful way to get around, but it's somewhat dangerous to use because it takes a bit to get you from point A to B, so make sure to time it right and to not get surrounded. But this flinger can kill zombies, so like I said, if you time it right, you can get around and kill some of the zombies along the way. Lastly, we got an ice slide. And it's a slide made of ice. That's it. It only allows you to get speed cola and the sickle on this map, but that's pretty much it. There aren't any traps on here surprisingly, and for some reason, people would just having a hard time believing that this map doesn't have any. I personally didn't mind if there was any, as even if there was a trap on this map, the training spot you'd go to get to higher rounds would be outside of the lighthouse with the door closed, so I didn't care for a trap. Would it be cool to have one? Sure, but it doesn't make any difference in my opinion. Then we get the lighthouse. Although it isn't too significant to look at, it is very important as without power you won't find Pack-a-Punch anywhere. The lighthouse will reveal to you where it is and it actually moves around the map. To know when Pap is ready, you'll get a lightning signal with an orange glow, and if you look at the lighthouse, it'll start looking for the machine. When it stops at a location, that's where it is. A pretty cool feature that I haven't heard of anyone complain about. Now let's get into the new perk on the block, or I guess the lighthouse. Deadshot Daiquiri. A perk that's really cheap, only costing 1,000 points. This perk is different in a sense of what gaming setup you're playing on. Before we get into the differences, what does it do? Firstly, it tightens your hipfire accuracy, which isn't bad. I don't mind it. Weapon sway is pretty much gone, so you'll be more accurate with some weapons like a sniper or just any other assault rifle. For the most part, you aren't supposed to get a sniper, but there's an exception I'll get to later. It can also make your knife aim for the head for whatever reason, and it gives you a big lunge. But then we get to the difference of the perk. On PC it costs 1,000 for a reason, due to you not being able to have aim assist. On console like PS3 and Xbox 360, it'll lock your aim at a zombie's head automatically when you have Deadshot. And because of this feature only being exclusive to consoles, it makes the price go from 1,000 to 1,500 on console. It's a pretty cool addition I'd say, and it even has some features that I didn't even know about till I put in some research into the perk. I'll talk about my opinion on it later as well. Next up, we got two new wonder weapons. Let's talk about this weird looking alien gun called the VR11 first. The VR11 has very little ammo, up to 12 in total when you first get it. The reason for this is due to it not really being a damaged wonder weapon, but it's supposed to act as a distraction weapon. When you shoot a zombie, it'll turn them into a human. Whenever a zombie is close by, they'll start chasing them until they kill the distraction, or until it is at further distance to where the zombies will start to chase you again. When you Pack-a-Punch the weapon, you have a bit more ammo, and it has a new ability. Same thing happens, shoot a zombie, boom, a person. But if you shoot that same person 3 more times, it will then explode the human and kill any zombies around him. It's such a cool weapon, and I especially love the design of what it looks like. It feels like you have so much power in your hands. Until you realize that this is the worst and best wonder weapon in Black Ops 1. Before we get into it, let's get to the last 4 things on this map. The last wonder weapon to be released is the Scavenger. Again, such a badass weapon, and this time it's a sniper. Again, not too much ammo, but for a good reason. When shooting at a zombie, it'll create a huge explosion that decimates everything in its path. Grabbing PhD Flopper enhances its intensity, and you won't have to worry about killing yourself. Pack-a-Punching it gives the gun an infrared scope, which I would complain about, but it's really useful because of the fog that covers this map. Until you start training by the lighthouse, but it's good to have nonetheless. And when I say it's powerful, shit, it packs a punch. Until it hits around round 34, then it stops one shooting zombies half the time. So which wonder weapon should you use on this map? Well, if you want to use any of the weapons, they come with a huge cost of either long-term damage or survivability. And one of them, the Scavenger, is especially lacking in the not pissing off the boss zombie department. Which, speaking of the devil, George Romero, the granddaddy of zombies. This guy has a lot of health, very hard to kill. You can tell how much health he has by his spotlight that he holds in his hand. It starts to spark more and more when he gets very low on health. But be very careful. Normally he just walks around and tries to kill you at a very slow pace. But if you shoot him, he gets angry and yells very loud, slowing you down. His skin then zombifies, rotting like he's revealing his true form. He then leaps into the air and slams into the ground, electrifying not just you, but any zombies nearby. Then he starts hauling ass towards you. Like, I'm dead serious, this motherfucker is fast, so you better have stamina or else he'll catch up to you. But there are 3 ways to stop him, or to even calm him down. You can either 1. Lead him into the cold water around the map. Doing so will turn him back to the normal slow-paced George. You can shoot him with the VR11. Normally it'll turn him back, but only for a few seconds. but if you pap the gun, he'll turn back permanently until you shoot him again. Or the last thing you can do is kill him. If you want to kill him, there's a way to go about it to make it easier, as trying to kill him as he's chasing you isn't the easiest thing to do, unless you have a strategy. I recommend getting explosive weapons like the ray gun, Mustang and Sally, the scavenger, or shockingly, the Pap Dragunov, as it does a lot of damage when you headshot him. But use the scavenger or Dragunov as it's a George killer. You can shoot from far away if he's in the water, because when you damage him when he's wet, he won't turn into his angry self. Killing him will make him go away for 2 rounds, the round you're currently on and the round after. Then he'll come back and you have to do it again. He'll always come back, but he drops 2 things for you, and one of them is extremely useful. Firstly, he drops the death machine. Not great, but it's there. Then, the second drop. The second drop is a perk bottle. This is really good, game changing even, as you can kill him over and over again until you get all the perks on the map. He doesn't truly die, but when you have a plan and it succeeds, you'll feel unstoppable. Now let's get to the characters. Of course, we have George Romero, the creator of the zombies phenomenon we all know and love. Without him, we wouldn't have movies like 28 Days or World War Z. You can tell I don't watch a lot of movies. So to give more examples, we wouldn't have games like 7 Days to Die, The Walking Dead, Dying Light, Left 4 Dead, and especially Call of Duty Zombies. The name of this map itself is somewhat of a callback of his first zombie movie, The Night of the Living Dead. And what is George and the crew trying to make? A zombie movie, Call of the Dead. Speaking of crew, let's get to the celebrity cast. We got Danny Trejo, and what I know from him, from my personal experience, is his casting of Predator. Then we got Michael Rooker, who has played as Daryl's brother in not only the Walking Dead show, but in the not so popular Walking Dead game of the same name. Yikes. Next we got Robert Englund, who played as Freddy Krueger himself in Nightmare on Elm Street. Lastly, we got Sarah Michelle Gellar, who played in The Grudge in 2004. In other movies too, but I don't really know her like that. These are all great casts and wonderful people to get introduced to us in zombies if you've never seen their movies. Lastly, we got the Easter egg, and I enjoyed it a lot as it's not too difficult, but it's also accessible for anyone to do. But doing it solo compared to co-op is different as the steps aren't the same. Since I'm doing everything solo, here's how to do it. Firstly, turn on the power and mess with these levers here. The first lever should be pulled once and the third lever 3 times. Afterwards, go to the wheel and spin it to the right twice. This is important as the boat needs to move a bit later on in the Easter egg. So you're already 2 steps ahead. Go to this little room with the locked metal door and you should hear the crew from Kino, or the Ultimates crew as they're known. They're stuck and need your help. So the next thing you need to do is find a fuse to turn on the lights for them and place it here. There's 3 locations I believe, and they're around the lighthouse. Next, blow up these generators that glow red when Toughen is done talking to you. I recommend using frag grenades as it's better in my opinion, but you could use semtex or explosive weapons like crossbows. They didn't work for me, so just stick to frags. One generator is right next to the door, the next is outside of the map near the end of the boat when you first get on it. There's one by the bridge and in between this little crack of the boat, and lastly, one near stepping up outside of this barricade. After this, go back to the door and knife it to get more information, and now they want you to get a golden rod. This is where the bow step kicks in, and if you already did it at the beginning, you should see a green light shine in the middle of the lighthouse. You need to get a VR11 and an explosive weapon. I recommend the ray gun or the Mustang and Sally. You need to get a zombie to turn into a human so that they get stuck up into the light. Afterwards, start blasting him with your weapons so that they can go down. To make this easier, I went down on purpose so that I have my Mustang and Sally and start blasting him. Wait a few seconds as the golden rod should come down. Put it in this tube, and when you see the fuse spark, melee it and then you finished. The game will reward you with the Wunderwaffe, and now whenever you kill George, instead of the death machine, you get the Wunderwaffe. This is such a great reward to the player, as this is a better drop weapon to get since now you can one-shot these zombies with no worries in the world. Now I'm going to talk about my opinion on the map, and why I think this map is misunderstood. This map came out at a time where Ascension exists, and people were enjoying that map way more than any other maps on Black Ops 1. It's easy, has a challenge, and is fun to play on. So when you have a map like Call of the Dead, it pretty much challenges the idea of difficulty. This map isn't easy. I'd say it's normal difficulty if there was a setting to change how hard a map is like on Black Ops 2. The reason why I say this is because there's no wonder weapon that can help you to get to a higher rounds consistently. It's weird too because there are 3 wonder weapons on this map, the ray gun, VR11, and the scavenger. There's the Wunderwaffe too, but you can only get that by killing George. The VR11 looks amazing. I think it's the best looking wonder weapon in all of Black Ops 1, but it isn't that good. Not as bad as the Winter's Howl, but it's up there. It has infinite damage, sure, but here's the problem. You get no points for shooting at a zombie with it, and the ammo count is ridiculously low. Not only that, but the gimmick of it being a distraction device whilst being able to blow up that distraction sucks. The zombies don't follow the person half the time, and when they do, they run straight into that water for no reason. Trying to shoot him 3 times to blow him up too is hard, because you're training these zombies and they will most likely get in the way. So the whole gimmick just doesn't work. Then we have the scavenger. Oh my baby, what happened to you? It's such a cool idea to make a sniper a wonder weapon, and I don't think they tried to go back to that in Zombies after Call of the Dead. With it being able to blow up zombies in a huge chunk is amazing, but it starts to cap at a round where it should still be able to one-shot zombies. Not only that, but God forbid, if George is close to it, you'll anger him, and now you have to try to kill him or get him into the water far from you. Then we got Deadshot, which is a very underwhelming perk. In what world do you want to start knifing zombies in their head at a high round, and why do I want to lunge at them? Smaller hipfire accuracy is cool, but there are just better options. Why have tighter hipfire if you can run faster? Why have the option to knife their head easier if you could blow yourself up and not get punished? Why have the option to aim at the head easier if you could just do it yourself? Or just don't, since you're running a train to get to a higher round to begin with. It's a perk that does pretty much nothing to benefit you if you could just do it. It's not a good perk, but on paper it sounds great. If you're a noob, that is. Then we have George Romero, and honestly, I don't have a problem with him as much as I did with the monkeys on Ascension. There isn't a special round in this map because you have him running around chasing you all the time. He even gives you a great reward for killing him. He comes back, yes, but that's kind of the best part, as I want to be able to get every perk on this map. He's a bit of a nuisance, I'll agree. If you want to be able to train your zombies without him being there, you pretty much have to stop everything you're doing just to kill him. But when you have the tools and the weapons to survive longer while being able to kill him quicker, it isn't so bad. People sometimes complain about the blizzard blinding you, but I really don't see the issue. It clears up as the game goes on, and being able to see the beauty of this map is amazing. The map is stunning. Now, when the blizzard comes in, sure, it's a bit hard to see, but not by a lot. Like, look at this, from this view, I can't see shit. But on the ground, it's fine. It ain't transit, trust me, this is better. Appreciate it while it's here. The one claim I heard about this map is that it's a map that gives fan service to the players. And it's like, what? Fan service? I can see what you mean, but these are movie icons. Who the fuck doesn't like Danny Trejo? And George Romero being on this map is so cool. Can we talk about the intro as well? This intro is not only cool, but funny to really think about. Of course, this is a movie set, so seeing heads fly and such, it's just special effects. Guns are fake, the weapons are fake, it's just a movie. But when the zombies roll in, you start to see that they're actual fucking weapons. What the fuck? The machete is actually a machete. Bro, the fucking shotguns are real? George, you know better than to risk your employees of actually getting shot. It's actually insane how these are actual weapons that were being used on the set, and they start using it to kill zombies. Like, when I found this out, it made it more enjoyable to me. This map is great, and although the wonder weapons could have gotten tweaked a bit to make them better, it's still a wonderful map to play on that has the right amount of difficulty that keeps me playing. I might be in the minority for saying what I said, but I generally believe that this map is really good, and it deserves to be anywhere away from C tier, as it has the right amount of pros and makes the Call of the Dead a stellar map. Does it have some downsides? Sure, but the only downsides I can think of from a player's perspective is the wonder weapons lacking and George being somewhat of a pain to deal with. Now let's get into the lightning rounds, as I believe I spoke enough about what makes this map great in my eyes. Let's begin. So when I was speaking about the intro of this map, there was one thing I left out that many players have noticed. When you see Michael Rooker using his dual-wield double-barrel shotguns, he shoots more than 2 times in one of them. Just a classic error that many game cutscenes and movies have done back in the early 2010s. The PAP name for the scavenger, Hyena Infrared, which is not only a play on word of infrared, but it's based on one of the creators who made the wonder weapon named Harvey Yena. It's also cool to note that since it has the name Hyena in its PAP version, hyenas are also scavengers in the wild. Although the VR11 isn't that great of a wonder weapon, what makes it great for you, George haters, is that if you don't want him in the map for a bit, you can shoot him with the PAP VR11 while he's in the water. Doing so will make him walk back into the water and disappear. Also, with the VR11, if you shoot your teammates with the weapon, it will make the teammate invisible to the zombies for a certain amount of time, while it's also giving an insta-kill effect if the gun is pack-a-punched. Since we're still on this weapon, the name Lazarus refers to the man who was resurrected by Jesus from the Bible. When standing in the water for too long, you'll begin to freeze and you won't be able to move for a few seconds. A zombie can hit you out of it, but don't stay in the water as you should already know. It can also blur your vision too, so you won't be able to see shit. Speaking of the water, destroying a frozen zombie's body can create splash damage, so you could kill some zombies with it or even hurt George if he gets too close. The Call of the Dead crew that we know and love, what happens to them after the Easter egg is done? Well, it's safe to say that they are dead, as they went missing for 6 weeks in the Siberian outpost. Their deaths aren't really confirmed honestly, but there are some theories that can conclude that they probably died. Reasons for these theories is because not only do they have to survive from this apocalypse, but this blizzard can very well have frozen them to death. And lastly, Call of the Dead is the only map on Black Ops 1, or maybe even Call of Duty Zombies as a whole, to have 3 wonder weapons that explode zombies in some way. The Scavenger have explosive rounds, the VR11 can blow up zombies if papped, and the ray gun creates splash damage. And of course, shooting at their legs blows up their legs, pretty much. And that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and in some way, I hope I was able to persuade you guys on why I believe this map is great. If I didn't, it was worth a try. You guys may disagree with me and believe that this map is bad, but that's the beauty of having opinions. I'm Special Azzy, and stay safe and stay hydrated.
Years ago, I did research for a World War II movie. I came across some old Nazi documents. I couldn't believe what I was reading. Element 115, necromancers, raising the dead, real creepy stuff.
We're completely surrounded! Come on!
The coolest thing? Some of that crazy shit happened right here.